Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm usually in Vegas, but I do visit English seaside places, and today this charming building is the first thing I've seen. Oh, here comes the little carriage. Oh, how very lovely is that? Isn't this beautiful? This is, with all the seagulls flying around, Scarborough, and I've just got off the train, walked down the high street and seen this, and there's a beach, and it's very, very gorgeous. It's a real proper Victorian English seaside town. Over there, up on top of that hill, is a castle. So maybe we'll be investigating that later. I can see a big wheel down there, a little harbour with a lighthouse, and somewhere off to my right would be the main drag of the seafront. So I'm going to go and check in to my Premier Inn. I've already found the little Grosvenor Casino, so that's open till 2 AM. So I will be visiting there later, of course, as well as all the amusements on the seafront. But yeah, this is my first view of Scarborough. Very lovely it is too. Join me for more later. Oh, before I move on, I'll give you some information. That's the tram running times today. Look at this gorgeous little ticket office. Wow. And it's £2.60 return, £1.50 single, children 5 and under free, which is a pretty good value, I'd say. I'll have to try that out. Although I am more of a walker, and I've just seen that there is a wheelchair accessible path going down at 1 in 10 gradient, and it zigzags down there to the beach. So obviously I should try both out at some point. Anyway, must go check into my room and then get down and walk along that glorious beach. That looks stunning. Wow, look at that, pristine. Hello everyone, welcome back. As you know, I'm in Scarborough and the aim is to go down to the seafront and enjoy all the seaside things, but as I was walking along the road, I came across this little gem. I saw the sign that said Plantation Hill and thought, what on earth is that? And I read up on it, so I've actually got facts and history, which is very unlike me. Anyway, this area used to be a corn mill. So you'll see there's still a big pond down there. That is a pond, it's just very grown over with algae. And this used to be a corn mill. And in the 1860s, the council demolished the mill buildings, designated it a public park. The area is called the Plantation, but there wasn't a plantation here. Apparently it was visited by Anne Bronte, whose grave is up in the cemetery on the hill with the castle, where I will definitely be visiting. But yeah, the council turned this over to being a public park in 1860s because the railways came here in 1845. I'm trying to remember, 1845, and it brought all the Victorians who like to take the air and have a stroll. So this is just a very beautiful little park, and it's literally, you come out of the station, walk down the high street, and it's there. You're about 5 minutes from the train station, and if I carry on walking through this park, which is tranquil and lovely, I will end up at the seaside, at the seafront rather. So yeah, I'll enjoy the peaceful, I said peaceful, there's all these cars going past, peaceful, tranquil park, and I'll see you at the beach. I promise I will get to the sea in a minute, but honestly this place is a little treasure trove. It's filled with rhododendrons and all sorts of amazing plants, and it's just all these little windy pathways and steps and Victorian follies. And I'm just coming down here thinking, oh, I wonder what's around here if I go out this one. So I come out through this entrance. It's the sea! I'm here! There's the sea! Oh, this place, Valley Park, Scarborough, is well worth a walk around. You see it's over on that side as well. It's just absolutely glorious, peaceful, and just lush. Anyway, I'm going to sea now. I've just come out of the park, it's just behind me. And to get to the beach you have to come under here. As you hear, there are literally hundreds of seagulls up on this bridge. Probably shouldn't stand here, something bad might happen to me. I'm alright so far. Anyway, you come under this tunnel to go to the beach. Oh look, there's a toilet, that's useful. Well, this is rather lovely. I thought it was just an underpass. But it appears it's an art installation with accompanying music. So let's listen. Isn't that fabulous? And there's the beach, promenade, cafe and toilet. No ordinary underpass. Look at that. Straight through to the beach. Fabulous. Oh, this is an absolutely glorious looking beach. I came from, see that big building there? I'm just behind there. That's where the High Street, the Premier Inn and the train station are. So I've just walked up here. So at the end of South Bay, I'm in an area now called the Spa. And this is an incredible Victorian building that was restored in the 1980s. It's had a long and checkered history. Apparently spa waters were discovered here in the early 1700s, and there's been a building on this site ever since. But it has been cursed, I would say. First it got washed away by the sea, then the cliff fell on it, then they built another one and that got washed away by the sea, then they repaired it and it got mullered by a storm, then there was a fire. So it's an incredible building today, but it's had a very checkered history. So yeah, this beach stretches all the way up there, and I believe up that end is where all the amusement arcades and chip shops are. But this is the Spa. Very, very beautiful it is too. And right there next to it, because apparently it's 200 feet up the cliff, having had a cliff lift up at that end that I just showed you, there is another one here that was built in 1875, and you can just about make out up there the little green train at the top, and that is the cliff lift, still in operation today. So there's one at either end of this bay. But what a gorgeous, gorgeous bay. I can see a lovely hill over there. I'll be walking up that tomorrow. Anyway, Scarborough Spa. Do love a British seaside town. That hotel up there, that looks incredible. I'll have to visit that too. Right, I'm off to the amusements. That'll be me for the evening. I will see you all tomorrow. I am currently at the top of a 200-foot cliff I just walked up from Scarborough Beach. Can you hear the waves? Oh, and now I'm at the top, heading to the Italian Gardens. Scarborough is stunning. Now, I know I said when I was at the Spa I was going to walk along the beach and go straight to the amusements, and then I remembered the guy at reception told me to go up the cliff at the Spa and look for the Italian Gardens. I have just arrived. Let me just give you a brief showing of the Italian Gardens. This is quite something. As you will see, they were first built in 1914. Are you ready for this? It is quite something. Is that not stunning? Wow. Just wow. Beautiful. I'm going to go down and have a little stroll. The amusements can wait. Welcome back to Scarborough and another unusual detour. I am currently in a cemetery called Manor Road, and in the middle of the cemetery is the secret garden, which is just this lush little oasis with pathways and rocks, and as you can hear, very tranquil. the most unusual thing I think I've ever seen in a cemetery, and I've been to a lot of cemeteries. So welcome to the secret garden at Manor Road Cemetery, Scarborough. And here we are again, dear viewers, in another random setting. This is Peasholm Park, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And you see that hill over there? I literally just walked in, and you hear the running water of these streams. I literally just walked in this path, heard a rustling sound, thought it was a dog, and a small brown deer just ran across my path and into the bushes. Once again, I am enchanted by Scarborough, so I'm going to continue my adventures and explore Peasholm Park. What a gorgeous place. I'm sure by now I must have said it 100 times, but I am gobsmacked by what Scarborough has to offer. I'll be honest, I thought it was just a tacky seaside town, and I just keep coming around every corner and finding things like this. These oases, these havens with these amazing, strange things in here. Oh, isn't that incredible? Isn't that amazing? Wow. Wow. I kind of feel like I should walk up there, shouldn't I? And see what's at the top. Looks steep. Anyway, still in Peasholm Park. Been surprised by a deer, seen squirrels, wish I'd bought some bread. Oh look, I can't walk up there. Well, I could jump across. Just as I'm leaving, a little train is chugging into view. Look at that. Right, and by way of the miniature railway, we've got to the open air theatre. Miniature railway is very cool. You can apparently drive the train yourself for £150, or have an afternoon cream tea for £10. Oh, and there's like a climbing area, like up in the trees, and a water chute as well. There's just stuff everywhere here. Anyway, this is the Scarborough Open Air Theatre, which looks like a great venue. There's been recent concerts on, nothing at the moment. But look at this for a venue. How gorgeous. Loads of bars and cafes and places. I will have to look at their schedule and see who's on in the future. See, Peter Hook and the Light were recently on, and Jimmy Carr. Very nice. Off to the castle now. I thought I'd quickly pop on. I don't know if you can hear a word I'm saying, but I'm down here at North Bay in Scarborough. And it seems to be every time I try and film something where I speak, the wind blows. Anyway, I'm having quite the adventure here, and Scarborough is absolutely not what I thought it was going to be. It is a stunning place. Look at these gorgeous painted beach huts up here behind me. Look at those. And this is the North Bay part, going back right behind my head over there. You'll see the castle, and that's where South Bay is. And this is the quieter part. This is North Bay. If you look back the other way behind me, you'll see some buildings back there, and that's the Sea Life Centre. So yeah, Scarborough is packed with stuff to do. If you can hear a word I'm saying, just listen to the waves. So hopefully you can hear me over the wind and the crashing waves, but that is North Bay, much quieter than South Bay. It's got a couple of little cafes and a couple of shops. Nice hotel up there, the Clifton, that'd be nice. And pathways up there, but yeah, much quieter on this side. As I say, once you pass the castle and that end bit there, you're in South Bay, which is much more lively, which as we get back there I'll show you the other end of it, because I showed you one end of it yesterday, but the end up near the castle is very much what you'd expect in a seaside town: amusement arcades, chip shops, you know, bucket and spade shops and all that. But yeah, if you want a quieter break, come this side, North Bay. Although not that South Bay's mad or anything, it's just, you know, more seaside. This is more peaceful. If you heard a word I said over the wind and the waves. But I'm probably going to move back from the wall, because you would have seen there's a warning sign about waves coming up over the wall, and high tide is due very shortly. So I will move away. I will be back at the castle. I will get there eventually, I promise. Right, we're finally halfway up to the castle, so while we admire the view of South Bay, there's a couple of things I was going to say. So the walk I did yesterday was from Scarborough Spa all the way along South Bay to Luna Park, which is like a little fun fair that's open today. It's obviously only open daytimes at the moment, but even though it was a long way, it was only just over a mile. So the whole seafront's about a mile, and having just walked North Bay from one end to the other again, it's only about a mile. So pretty cool. This time of the year, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, it was impossible to get food last night. Everything was shut by 7 o'clock, so I'm getting my chips early today. I'll show you when I come down from the castle, South Bay, this end of it. Like I say, it's mainly fish and chip places and ice cream places and cafes and amusements, typical seaside stuff, which is very nice. The high street, I'm not big on shopping, so I don't really investigate it, but there was a shopping centre called Brunswick, but I went in there and it's completely shut, there's nothing in there. High street's pretty good, there's lots of the big names, Marks and Spencer's, B&M and all that kind of thing, but there's quite a few independent shops, vintage clothing, record shops, curios, things like that. But yeah, I'm not a shopper. Restaurants, yeah, I don't really do restaurants. I like to grab and go. So there are plenty of restaurants. It's just this time of the year, I'm recording this in May, most places really don't stay open late. My Premier Inn, like I said, that's in South Bay. There is one in North Bay as well, but my one is pretty good because it's got a McDonald's on one side, and a one-stop shop, so you can get everything you need. And also it's got the Brewers Fair attached, which all Premier Inns have, which is sort of pub restaurant, and you can actually sort of internally walk down and go into it, and you can get deals on breakfasts and dinners. So yeah, just a few more interesting facts. So now we're going to make it to the castle. I don't think I'm going to pay to go in, I'm going to roam around. I think it's £10 to go in, but I'm tight. I'm just going to look around and admire the view, and then we'll go down and I'll show you the other end of South Bay, and then that's pretty much covered Scarborough. And what a lot there has been to show. But yeah, coming up here to the castle, looking down on South Bay, pretty damn nice. And that's the town over that way. Oh, and can you see that big hotel right there, the Grand? I just read something really interesting about that. Apparently it's got 4 turrets on it to show the 4 seasons, and there are 12 floors for the 12 months of the year, and 365 rooms for the 365 days of the year. Quite an amazing building. I bet it's not cheap to stay there. Anyway, onwards and upwards to the castle. Here we are. There's a castle rampart. That's the best I got for you, because you can pay £10 to go in, and I'm not going to today. However, look, these are more of the ramparts, the outside castle walls, but I'm going to be a bit careful here because these steps are very, very steep. Oh look, I can look through the little window. Anyway, I am up at the castle. I have seen the ramparts. Main thing up here is just seeing the view off the top, which I tried to photograph it, but these things never quite come out the same, do they, as when you're there. Anyway, these are castle ramparts. I'm going to go now and find myself some chips and sit by the sea, and I'll show you briefly the amusements and stuff at the end of South Bay. but I videoed so much stuff today I'm virtually out of battery. Anyway, we're here back at the harbour. Glorious, isn't it? One more stop, South Bay amusements and chip shops. Ah, look, before I venture down, so down there below us at the harbour is Luna Park, which is a fun fair place. Kind of for little kids, it's not big rides, but it's a cute little fun fair. Anyway, I shall carry on my journey back over there, up behind that wheel. Down the steps I go, but glorious views off the top here. I seem to have used that word glorious a lot the last few days, haven't I? But it really is. I can't think of a better word. Anyway, chips! Here I am in my more natural environment, machines. So yeah, this is what I would call the touristy seaside part of South Bay. Up there on that hill was the castle. Just beyond there is Luna Park. And this is the main, geez, it's noisy, main drag along the seafront for those who want traditional seaside things. Got shellfish, souvenirs, cups of tea, amusements, burgers, inflatable beach balls, all that kind of caper. So yeah, amazingly this is what I thought was all that Scarborough had. Not that there is anything wrong with this at all, because I will be going in there and playing machines. I will be having hot donuts and buying fudge and rock, and I will be eating fish and chips very, very soon. But Scarborough, as you would no doubt have seen if you've watched from the beginning, has a lot more to offer, and we have pretty much covered all of that bay and all of that bay and everything in between. So with a view of the sea, it's time for lunch. Thank you for joining me on this quite remarkable trip to Scarborough, which gave a lot more than I was expecting. So thank you, and goodbye for now. If there's anything else that captivates me, I'll be back. If not, I'll catch you on my next journey, wherever that might be. Thanks for watching. I know I said I was done, but you know, you can't come to the seaside, sit here with all this, and not go and get this, can you? This is small fish and chips. That was £8. Not bad, eh? So I got my little wooden fork, got my salt and vinegar, sitting on the beach. That's the way to end a seaside vlog, isn't it? Thanks, Scarborough. You've been epic. To give you a taste of a bus journey going across the moors. It's my last day here. Oh, look in front here. It's my last day here, and I am having a day trip out to my beloved Whitby. But look at this. This is a proper roller coaster trip. I believe in front of me is Robin Hood's Bay. Am I right with that? Yes. Lovely lady on the bus is giving me tourist information. But look at that. Absolutely stunning. £3 on a bus from Scarborough to Whitby, 1 hour, and you feel like you're at a theme park the whole time. It's absolutely breathtaking. And we have the moors in all directions. Stunning. Wow. And here we are, dear friends, in beautiful Whitby. If you've never been to Whitby, you must visit. It is an absolutely gorgeous maze of twisty tiny streets with all independent shops, lots of them selling Whitby jet jewellery, amazing little taverns. There's a fudge shop over there called Justin's, which is to die for. And once you've wound your way around all these streets, you go up here, if you can hear me, and of course I'm out and about and it's windy, as it always is. These are the famous 199 steps that you take to get you up to Whitby Abbey, which any self-respecting goth and Dracula lover will always do, because if you don't know, the story goes that Dracula's boat, the Demeter, crashed on the rocks They transformed into a black wolf and raced up the stairs to hide in the Abbey. So I might not race up the stairs, but I will walk up them. And here we are at Whitby Abbey. So if you make the climb up the 199 steps, you're very much rewarded with a view of the harbour and the town. And I'll show you from where the church is around the corner down to the actual bay. And there's this beautiful garden all filled with local plants and herbs and fruit trees. And then over there is obviously the reason you come. So you can see a lot of it from the outside. If you want to actually go in and walk around it, you do have to pay a fee. But that is the famous Whitby Abbey. Very beautiful it is too. Very beautiful indeed. And then right next to it here is the YHA, where we stayed once before. Very reasonably priced, an amazing old building. And if you see that kind of conservatory at the end there, you can go and sit there in the morning and have your cup of tea and look out at the Abbey, and it's quite stunning. I'll check their prices actually, because they were very reasonable last time we stayed, and what an incredible place to stay. Absolutely stunning. Oh, you can almost see Dracula hiding in the Abbey, can't you? Well, I can, but I've got a good imagination. So there we are, just beyond that wall is the Abbey. And then right here we have a museum and shop, which has loads of cool Dracula stuff. But very, very pricey. And then you come through this archway here, and this brings you through to the YHA, and there's a cafe. Serves everything from sort of mugs of tea for a couple of quid to toasted sandwiches for a fiver, through to full meals for about 15 quid. And this is the gorgeous YHA. I wanted to go and find out how much it is to stay there, but unfortunately they're shut at the moment because it's not check-in time. Anyway, so that is Whitby Abbey. I mean, I'll find out how much it costs to actually... Oh, it's windy. Whoa, very windy. Yeah, I'm going to go find out how much it costs to actually go and look around the Abbey up close. I might do it today. It was weird, I was in a gift shop and the wind was whistling through the door in a really eerie fashion. Anyway, I want to take you to the church and the view across the bay. So apologies for the noise, they're cutting the grass. What a lovely atmospheric day to be up at the Abbey. So here we are, that's the Abbey. In the shadow of the Abbey is the Church of St Mary the Virgin. What a graveyard, overlooking the sea. Look at this. Wow. I wonder if I could be buried here. Maybe if I moved here just before I died, I could be buried here. Not that I plan on doing that just yet. I want to show you the sign inside the door of the church that amuses me every time I read it. I can't actually believe that people do this. You'll see, you'll see. That's amazing. There's these old lampposts, and it's really windy up here, and they're shaking in the breeze. Look at that view down to the town. Absolutely gorgeous. It's worth a trip here just to come up these steps and look at this view right across the bay. We're only 5 miles away from another town, Robin Hood's Bay, which next time I come here I might walk there from here. 5 miles, I didn't take long with it. Anyway, I've got to show you this side on the church and then I'm heading back down into the town. This will make you laugh. Can you believe people actually come here and ask? Anyway, right, back down to the town and the fudge shop. Back down the 199 steps. Oh Lord. Here I am making my way back down the famous 199 steps. These kids up here running out of puff. What's wrong with them? I don't know. Anyway, beautiful up here. Beautiful. Right, down into the town. Oh, I see amusements. And fudge awaits me. Anyway, 133 steps to go. Well, I've been to my fudge shop, which is Rowley's Fudge Shop on Sandgate, and got my bag of fudge, which is the best fudge in the whole world. You just smell it wafting down the street. We are now on Great Lane, about to cross back over to the harbour, and I thought I'd finish with a little ghost story for you, because supposedly this road, Great Lane, has a ghost, and apparently if you see her you'll see flames and then you'll see her running. 1917, her name was Mary Clark, and it was a young girl who had long blonde hair, and she went into the local baker's to heat up her father's dinner, and somehow her hair caught fire and she ran into the street in a panic, but the wind fanned the flames and she was horribly burnt, taken to the infirmary and died later. And apparently her ghost is supposed to haunt this street, Great Lane, the ghost of Mary Clark. And with that I shall head back to the harbour, although I may just stop here first at Green Dragon with spirits, because they might have absinthe. Oh no, they're closed. Right, that concludes our tour of Whitby. Look how windy it is down here at the harbour.